The National Guard is in Los Angeles. The National Guard is in Los Angeles right now. Trump signed the memorandum deploying the National Guard to Los Angeles, and 10 minutes later, a Black Hawk helicopter landed in Compton.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, we have another day of protesting happening in Los Angeles. What they're referring to as peaceful protesting. So what does that mean? That we have liberals going on TikTok and other social media platforms and just uploading video after video explaining about how peaceful these protests are. All they're doing is exercising their First Amendment rights, and the Trump administration's completely in the wrong. These people really have no idea that they're on the wrong side of things here. Let's get into it.
United we stand, divided they catch us one by one. Those are the wise words of the late Jose Sarria in honor of Pride Month. I want to call out this right here. So there are now 500 Marines that are ready to go. They are not being deployed as of yet, but they are ready to be deployed on LA for us using our First Amendment right to peaceful protest while law enforcement continues to use every tool that they possibly have to try and get it to escalate to a riot. These Marines are coming directly from District 23 in California, from the 29 Palms base. I stand with LA, I stand with our communities, and I want to make it so fucking clear that we have the right to peaceful protest. So as long as we are keeping it peaceful, this should not happen. I will be there as soon as I possibly can. Chinga la migra.
Fuck ICE, fuck Trump supporters. If you agree with what they're doing in California, fuck you too. Fuck you too.
If you're a citizen threatened by immigrants, you just didn't work hard enough. The system is designed for you to succeed, especially if you are a white person. If you are a white American citizen who is threatened by immigrants, legal or illegal, you didn't work hard enough. I'm sorry, you failed. And if you think immigrants took your job or your kid's job, I'm sorry, again, they didn't work hard enough. The system of America is designed to support American citizens. And I guarantee any rebuttal that you have against that to disprove it circulates right on back to capitalism and billionaires.
If an immigrant family knocked on your door and asked you to hide them in your attic, would you? Because that's where we're at.
I'm downtown walking around. This is bullshit. Look what the fuck they did to the Kobe mural down here. How disrespectful can you be? What a fucking joke. Disrespecting the GOAT, man, and his daughter. This is unbelievable.
Y'all, take the whole immigration side out of this, because some of y'all can't get over the whole immigration side of it. I need y'all to understand what is happening right now. Against the wishes of the governor of California, the president of the United States has federalized National Guard troops to put down a protest in California against what the governor has directly asked him to do. This is not one of the biggest protests we've ever seen. This is not some major protest. There is nothing to warrant this level of escalation, and we have never seen something like this in modern American history to do this against the wishes of the governor. This is a dangerous precedent to let be set. I need y'all to look past the immigration side of this and understand what is going on. The president is deploying military forces to put down a protest. That is what he is doing. And if that is allowed to become the precedent, if we do not protest this now and call this out and condemn this, if this is allowed to be set in stone, this will happen again. And the requirements and that threshold gets lower and lower every time it happens, until it becomes the norm that anytime there is a protest, the military gets sent in. And do you know what type of government you get to when the military gets stepped in? Anytime there's a protest, think about what type of government that is. Let's just say we have invaded countries that have gotten to that kind of government before. And we are now perpetuating that exact thing here in the United States. Nothing about this. I don't care about the immigration side of it. That is a red herring that doesn't matter. The truth of what is going on is that the President of the United States is currently using military forces as a policing activity against the will of the governor of that state. This will happen again if it is allowed to become precedent, and that requirement, that threshold, like I said, it gets lower and lower and lower every time. And you may think it doesn't matter now. What if something happens that you don't like? All right, the government should never be using military forces to stop people from expressing a First Amendment right to freedom of speech and freedom of protest. I don't care that there has been some violence in the protest. None of that justifies this level of escalation that we have now seen out of the federal government. This is a dangerous thing to do, and it is going to get even worse soon.
This guy's actually jumping in front of a camera, hitting record, and he uploaded this video stating that this is not really a big problem, that this is not one of the biggest protests we've ever seen. Okay, yeah, there's been larger protests, that there's been nothing that's happened, nothing has escalated to the point where it warrants Trump actually sending in the National Guard, where it warrants Trump getting involved. What this guy wants his viewers to focus on is that Trump ignored Gavin Newsom. That's the bigger problem here. Notice he said it 2 to 3 times through the duration of his video, that he wants you to ignore the immigration problem. Just put that aside for now, because that's a whole other issue. The bigger problem is here, and this is unprecedented, is that Donald Trump came in and stepped on Gavin Newsom's toes. So what he's really trying to point out here, though, is it's very important that all of us, everybody that's viewing his video, we need to ignore the immigration side about it. Because then, when you remove the immigration side out of it, then you can make it look like it's authoritarianism. But if you add the immigration side back into it, well, then his narrative just doesn't work, and you can't call Trump an authoritarian. You can't call him a tyrant, but take the immigration situation out of it. Ingenious, totally ingenious move, although I would not expect anything less from the highly educated liberals. So let's just play along with him here for a second. Let's take the immigration situation, let's just put that aside. Now, he's talking about how this is going to become easier and easier and easier to do. It's going to happen in more states. You let them get away with it once. This is why it's so important that they stand up now. Because if you let them get away with it once, the Trump administration will do it again every time they protest. That being the key word is protest. As I explained in my last video, you liberals don't protest. You guys occupy. You guys are activists. You guys actually display violence. If you guys actually tried protesting properly, and by properly what I mean is leave your lighters at home, don't set any cars on fire, don't loot stores. I mean, this is supposed to be your city that you care about. And you figure, hey, while I'm out here lighting a car on fire, I might as well just rip off the pharmacy while I'm here. Stop breaking sidewalks with hammers so you can get rocks to throw at police officers. That's not how you protest properly. If you want to protest properly, you stand there with picket signs. You can block some spaces, but you still must let traffic flow through. But honestly speaking, in my opinion, even if you guys were to protest properly, no violence, not occupying your city, it truly wouldn't make a difference, because we have to come back out of this guy's delusion now, and we have to put the immigration problem back in there, because that's the reality of it. Trump ran on this. This is part of what got him elected. This is a huge part of his mandate. He's not just going to back off because a few thousand of you hit the streets of LA and throw rocks and spit at cops and burn cars. This is not how you guys are going to get what you want. Either way, at the end of the day, this is actually a huge problem for you liberal, peaceful protesters. No matter how much you guys virtue signal, no matter how much you guys try and act like you're the victims here, you guys are the ones that instigated this. You guys are the ones that got this started. You guys are the ones that caused Trump to bring in the National Guard and the Marines now. In all honesty, this is not looking good for your 2026 elections. It's not looking good for your 2028 presidential election.
I was raised in the LA area, and so when I talked to you guys about the fact that it is nuts that Trump is starting his crap there, that's where he chose to go, which is just a giant mistake. But anyway, if you know anything about LA, you know the history of it. And I keep saying on here that LA actually stands for ACAB. ACAB meaning all cops are. That is the DNA of LA. That is their pride. That is what they stand by. That is what they wait for. That is what they do not back down from. And one of you clever people in my comments put it together. LACAB. LACAB. I love it.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
If you are following orders from Donald J. Trump, you are serving a dictator, not the Constitution. History in the world is watching. He's breaking the law, if you know the law. The only people I have heard have any arguments in support for it don't know the law. So please see my pinned post, because I go into exactly why it is unconstitutional, unlawful, and why you should not follow those orders.
They're tear gassing us right now. Hey everyone, we're headed to... so we're walking back. We're going to City Hall now.
Don't come on my page and say that people should be in this country legally. Don't fucking do it. This is ridiculous. It's inhumane. You are a human being, and don't you dare use Jesus' name or God's name in this and say that this is what he would want and pretend to be a Christian, because you're not. This is pure evil. You are scum of the earth. These are people. These are mothers. These are fathers. These are human beings. And all you care about is where they are geographically. Shame on you. Do better. Be better.
Just wanted to quickly say that anyone in ICE or in support of ICE is a gigantic, coward, fucking piece of shit who deserves every single bad thing that is to come in the rest of their fucking pathetic, disgusting lives. That's all.
If I was Donald Trump with these LA riots, here's what I would do. Number one, 100%, I'm paying people to go out there to look like Democrats and protesters, paint fuck ICE everywhere, wave Mexican flags. People across the country who are not in Los Angeles need to get the idea that these are in fact violent riots. They're not. We have hours and hours and days of footage to show it's peaceful. Yeah, there's a few outliers, as there always is with any statistical incident. I would be paying people for sure to go in and pretend to be protesters and try to agitate or incite. Number two, 100% I'm making sure I'm doing ICE raids in minority neighborhoods where there's going to be Mexican people, Latino, Hispanic, Black people. Because again, if I'm watching what's happening from another state, it's going to look a lot better to me as a MAGA white American to see Black people throwing things and causing damage or protesting. The racism in me is going to be incited, and I'm going to say, yes, absolutely, Trump, we need you to save us from this. I'm not doing ICE raids in Bel Air or Studio City or Sherman Oaks. Number three, I'm going to drag this out as long as I can, because if I'm Donald Trump, I know that I'm losing clout amongst Republicans, amongst the rest of the world. I've become a laughingstock. I also know, too, that my party is probably going to pull a 25th Amendment against me within 2 years, say that I'm unfit for office. Because by then, I'm going to be 80. And I am going to deal with what it is to be an 80-year-old man. I am going to have memory loss. I am going to be incontinent. I know J.D. Vance is coming in after me. That's why I picked such a young person. So if I was DJT dealing with these LA riots, 100%, I need to make it look as though I'm saving this country, these radical left, Democrat-run cities. I am 100% for sure planting people, things. I'm going to try to aggravate and incite. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to keep it up. Because 30 days of riots in LA, for sure West Virginia is going to be like, oh my God. Don't put a single thing past Donald Trump. I think the man has more felonies than Diddy at this point.
Okay, not only does she want to claim that the Trump administration is actually trying to use the Democrat playbook with these protests, she wants to claim that there's hours and hours and hours of footage to show and prove to the world that these protests have been peaceful. I don't know if she's watching the right protests, because I've seen a lot of footage showing just how violent it is on the protesters' side. Have I seen the National Guard or ICE like shooting rubber bullets? Yes, I have. Have I seen a lot of people out there burning American flags, spitting on police, burning police cars, breaking apart walls and sidewalks so they can get projectiles to throw at the police? Yes, I have. Anybody with the smallest amount of common sense can look at this footage side by side and they know who's in the wrong here. You guys can keep trying to act like the victim all you want. People outside of LA, the world that's watching, even the people that are actually liberals in other countries know you guys are in the wrong. Even these liberals that know you guys may be in the wrong have the same feeling as you guys. They may not agree with this immigration process either, but they definitely know that you peaceful protesters are not going about it the proper way. So this young lady here probably sat there and started to think out this whole scenario of hers, like the Democrat playbook, you know, pretty much all Antifa style, people that are paid to occupy the streets, people that are paid to actually commit violence, people that are paid to write F-ice on walls. But the truth is, no matter how big of a eureka moment she thought she had, her subconscious mind knows the truth. And her theory about, you know, people watching from out of state, being a white MAGA person watching from out of state, it's gonna touch my racism, my natural racism that's within me. If I'm seeing brown people at these protests, you liberals, white liberal women in particular, do not realize just how incredibly stupid and racist you look. You always want to call MAGA racist, yet it's you guys on a regular daily basis that want to keep bringing up racism. All these claims that you guys make, yet you guys never provide any proof, not even a single video clip of somebody wearing a red hat acting racist. Yet we have probably, if I really looked hard enough, I can probably find at least 100 clips a day of some white liberal trying to act all heroic, not realizing just how racist they look. You guys have honestly lost your flipping minds. In the last video, I played a short clip of Barack Obama in 2015, explaining the issues with immigration back then, how he had deportations up by 80%, and none of you liberals, none of you had a problem with that. But 10 years later, it's because Donald Trump is your president. You guys hate that he's your president. You're willing to let your country burn just to spite him. If this was Joe Biden, despite the fact that he committed treason and left your border walls wide open for 4 years, if he got reelected somehow, some way, somehow, and was doing a second term, and then all of a sudden flipped the script and said, hey, I'm gonna deport all these people, all of you liberals would back him 100%. You would call him a hero because he's defending your country, and you would even think that the back of his head belongs on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I would do absolutely anything for my daughter, and that includes going to a different country to give her a better life. And being undocumented is not a criminal offense, it's a civil one. And if you've ever jaywalked, congratulations, because you've also committed a civil offense. And you're so worried about criminals being in this country, yet you voted for one to run it. There is a legal process for deportations, and both parties have supported this. You guys know where I stand because I'm very vocal about where I stand, but I have no problem continuing to speak up because I am a resident of Southern California, and this is happening to my community, and I'm truly disgusted. These are human beings, and there is a right way and a wrong way to go about this. And the right way doesn't involve children getting handcuffed.
Okay, MAGA, I'll ask the question this time this way. If a white family showed up to your door asking you to hide them in your attic, would you help them?
Now on the new Countdown podcast, Donald Trump's terrorist attack on Los Angeles, his terrorist threat against the rest of America. What else do you call it when you send in the National Guard and threaten to send in active Marines into a U.S. city to threaten and possibly shoot civilians who are trying to protect people from being kidnapped, disappeared, and renditioned to foreign torture centers? It is the actual definition of terrorism, the attempt to make political change by violence or the threat of violence. Make no mistake what this is. It is Donald Trump's terrorist attack on Los Angeles.
Tear gas just hit us. People are suffering because of this. Fuck them and fuck everybody else that supported them.
Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. Be afraid to lose the right to stand up for what you believe in.
Just because it's happening in Los Angeles and you may be far, far away from there does not mean that you can go back to sleep and pretend that this is not happening. It's happening. It will happen closer to you soon, because this is the beginning of the end. You can't pretend it's not happening. Do something about it.
I am so fucking proud of the American people right now. You guys are doing fucking amazing. This was supposed to be Trump's big show of force that shuts everybody up and allows him to do whatever the fuck he wants. And y'all aren't scared. I love it. We will not back down. We will not comply. And we're staying on top of the fucking narrative so you can't continue to gaslight the public. Everybody's got goddamn phones in their hands. Good luck, bud. We do not bow to tyrants. This is fucking America. Who the fuck do you think you're dealing with? We're not gonna be scared into compliance. Remember the Boston Massacre? How'd that play out? We outnumber them. Remember that. They cannot possibly send in the military to every single major city in the United States. There are people in every single city in the entire nation that are fed up, done with this shit, and are not just gonna bow down or back down. We are winning the culture war, and he fucking knows it. That's why they have so many goddamn bots on this app trying to convince you otherwise. His show of force is failing. He knows it. And now he's threatening you not to come and protest in DC? Okay. That show of force better buckle the fuck up, because people are not gonna back down. We're not scared of you, Mr. Dumpy Pants. He's got a real bruised ego right now, and he knows he's fucked. He's gonna pull out all the shots he possibly fucking can, and we're gonna stop him at every single point. So let's make June 14th the biggest crush to his ego fucking possible. Let's stomp it into the goddamn ground. Because you don't get to fuck with the civil rights of Americans, okay?
Okay, for starters, this mossy matriarch, I think is what she calls herself, she is a terrible influencer. She floods her TikTok page with video after video after video, and all she does is gaslight. It actually amazes me that she can put up so much content in one day. I know these are just 30-second, sometimes 3-minute long videos that she does, but it's how her brain just keeps conjuring up this stuff, and she can keep swinging together sentences to gaslight the heck out of all of her viewers. And what she kind of does, it's almost like a supervillain that sits in their basement and nobody ever gets to meet this supervillain face to face. They're just there with a whole bunch of screens in front of them and gaslighting their minions into doing their bidding. And that's exactly what she does. She gaslights her viewers, she encourages them to go protest. Yet I guarantee you, she's probably never been to a single protest herself because she's too full of fear. And to top it off, as expected, her narrative is completely full of shit. Donald Trump does not have an agenda here. He's not looking for an excuse to enact martial law. He's not trying to pull out the Insurrection Act. He doesn't want any of this. All Donald Trump wants is what he's been saying for years. He wants to make America great again. And he could not do it in the current state that it is. Why on earth wouldn't you people want the same thing? And then she's got the nerve to state, we don't bow to tyrants. This is America. Who the F do you think you're dealing with? No, I'm sorry, Mossy, whatever your name is, you are not a deserving American. You are a traitor. You're encouraging the violence. You're encouraging resistance towards the leader of your country. And believe me, this goes to all of you liberal influencers out there. Not in a threatening way. That's not how I mean this whatsoever. But in 3.5 years from now, none of you will be as brave as you are right now. You're all going to cower because the absolute truth is, whether you want to believe it or not, you're not the majority. You do not outnumber us. Not even close. We have people from your side that are jumping on the fence to our side. It's not happening the other way around. Stop listening to each other. You're all lying to each other. At the end of the day, whether you're on Team Red or Team Blue, most people just want peace. They want happiness. They don't want all this chaos. It's only the very far left, who we refer to as the libtards, the crazy libtards. They're the only ones who want all this drama. And the truth is, they're a very small, loud minority. She says they cannot possibly send in the military to every city in the United States. Do you guys see what she's doing here? She's trying to incite this to expand beyond what's going on in Los Angeles. She's hoping for protests, and which, in reality, riots, to take place in other cities At the same time, this is the type of girl that if the whole country was on fire, as long as it pisses off Donald Trump and fits her crazy narrative, that makes her happy. That makes those big bulgy eyeballs really pop wide open. I know a lot of you other liberals out there can see this. You guys just don't want to admit, like, hey, shit, is Donald Trump on the right side of things? Yeah, he is. Majority of you have been propagandized for years. This has been going on for a very long time now, but you guys are right now on the wrong side of history. But it's not too late. It's not too late. As I said yesterday, pull your heads out of your asses, get your heads straight, get on the right side of history, and put America first. All right, guys, that's it for this video. That's all I got tonight. If you guys like this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel if you guys are new. If not, if you can like the video, share the video, comment, or interact in one way or another, go press a button or two down there. And until then, I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
If they would just follow the law and do it the right way. You don't know what the right way is. You don't know anything about immigration. I have a degree in Spanish where I focused my coursework on the socio-political relationship between Latin America and the United States, and I would not dare to presume that I know anything about how to solve our immigration issues. You don't know anything about these people, or where they come from, or why they're here in the first place. You don't know anything about immigration policies or immigration systems, including how long it takes to become legal, how difficult that process is, or how expensive it is. Likely all you know is a handful of statistics and a few buzz phrases like border crisis and stealing our jobs, all of which were carefully curated, pre-packaged, tied up with a little bow, and spoon-fed to you as propaganda. And you ate it right up because it aligned with what you already believe. That is called confirmation bias. And due to that confirmation bias, paired with your refusal to do any real research with a heavy side dressing of just good old-fashioned racism, we now have people being snatched off the streets, out of their workplaces, out of their homes, being detained, sometimes sent to foreign concentration camps. We all know this is not about the law. This is about your lack of education and your unwillingness to humanize people that don't look like you and don't speak the same language as you do. And I know this to be true because if you did see them as humans, if you did see them as equal to yourself, you would not be able to watch the videos of what's going on in this country and allow it to stand, much less defend it and cheer it on.